The Last Pharaoh, a story of Cleopatra. The Mediterranean sun blazed over Alexandria, the most dazzling city in the ancient world. Inside the marble halls of the royal palace, a young girl studied maps, languages, and the art of power. Her name was Cleopatra VII, and she would become the last true ruler of Egypt before it fell forever into Roman hands. Act 1. Born into a snake pit. Cleopatra's family, the Ptolemies, were Greek Macedonian rulers of Egypt, and they were infamous for one thing: killing each other. Siblings poisoned siblings. Husbands murdered wives. Children plotted against parents. By the time Cleopatra was a teenager, she understood one brutal truth in this family. Mercy was a weakness, and weakness meant death. At 18, she became co-ruler of Egypt alongside her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, who was also, by Egyptian royal custom, her husband. It didn't last. Ptolemy's advisors turned against her. Cleopatra was forced to flee Alexandria. Stripped of her throne, hunted by her own family, most royals in her position would have disappeared into history. Cleopatra did not. Act 2. The queen who outsmarted Rome. While Cleopatra plotted her return, a Roman general arrived in Egypt, Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in the known world. Legend says Cleopatra had herself smuggled into Caesar's quarters, rolled inside a carpet, to avoid her brother's guards. True or not, one thing is certain: within hours of meeting Caesar, Cleopatra had secured something her armies couldn't: his support. Caesar restored her to the throne. Ptolemy XIII drowned fleeing battle. Cleopatra was queen again, and now allied with Rome itself. But Cleopatra wasn't just relying on charm. She spoke 9 languages. She was, by every account, one of the sharpest minds of her era, including Egyptian, the first Ptolemaic ruler in 300 years to bother learning it. She studied medicine, economics, astronomy. She rebuilt Egypt's economy during famine. When Caesar was assassinated in Rome in 44 BC, Cleopatra's world shifted again. Rome split into civil war. And into that chaos rode another powerful Roman general, Mark Antony. Act 3. Love, war, and the end of an empire. Antony summoned Cleopatra to meet him. She arrived sailing up the river on a golden barge, dressed as the goddess Isis, surrounded by perfumed smoke and music. It was theater, it was propaganda, and it worked perfectly. Antony and Cleopatra became allies, then lovers, then partners in one of history's most dangerous gambles, challenging Rome's rising power, Octavian, the future Emperor Augustus. Together they built an alliance meant to rival Rome itself. Egypt's wealth funded Antony's armies. Cleopatra wasn't a passive queen waiting in a palace. She commanded ships, funded wars, and gambled her kingdom's future on this alliance. But Octavian was patient, ruthless, and brilliant at propaganda. He painted Cleopatra not as a queen, but as a foreign seductress corrupting a Roman hero, a narrative that would survive for 2,000 years. In 31 BC, at the Battle of Actium, Octavian's forces crushed Antony and Cleopatra's combined fleet. Their dream of an Egyptian-Roman empire collapsed in a single afternoon. Epilogue: the final act. With Octavian's army closing in on Alexandria, Antony took his own life, believing Cleopatra was already dead. Cleopatra was not dead, but she was finished. Rather than be dragged to Rome in chains paraded through the streets, as Octavian's trophy, Cleopatra chose her own ending. According to ancient sources, she died in 30 BC, reportedly from the bite of an asp, inside her own palace. She was Egypt's last pharaoh. After her death, Egypt became a Roman province, ending 3,000 years of pharaonic rule in a single moment. History, written by her enemies, painted her as a temptress who used beauty as a weapon. But strip away the propaganda, and a different woman emerges: a ruler who spoke 9 languages, governed through famine and war, and gambled everything twice against the most powerful empire on earth. She lost, but she never stopped fighting, and 2,000 years later, the world still can't stop talking about her.